All right, Crypto Comics keeps on trucking with our review of Maximum Press, the Rob Liefeld imprint that caused a lot of ire at Image Comics. His fellow Image creators were not too happy that Rob started his own publishing company when they had Image Comics to publish comics through. But Rob was just going to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. And that includes releasing this smoking hot comic called Avengelyne, which was one of the two most popular, most indelible Maximum Press characters. Evangeline was originally a 3-issue miniseries, and then there was they had 3 other miniseries. They had an ongoing series which ran for 14 issues plus an issue 0. There were a few team ups, like they teamed up with Glory, who was the other female, extremely popular. She actually had 22 issues and a 0 issue through Maximum Press. They teamed up Evangeline with Prophet, teamed Evangeline up for I think 2-issue miniseries with Warrior Nun Ariella, and this was very popular. He got this girl Kathy Christensen. Oh shoot! See, look at me, Kathy Christian. Yes, this model to pose for a lot of pictures with a sword. And that's Evangeline, and she went on tour with Rob, and she signed some books and signed this card that came with, actually, it's really funny that this card did not come with this book. This card came with a different Avengelyne #1, but it's also signed, and I'll just go ahead and read it to you. Imagine if all you knew your entire life was the magic of heaven. Days that never end, streets paved with gold, pearly gates, eternal life, no sorrow, no pain. Then one day, it all came to an abrupt end. Everything you ever knew was taken from you, and you were exiled to an alien world, a world you knew nothing about, a world where you would fight for your survival against the temptations that threatened to destroy you. Welcome to the world of Avengelyne. Vengeance has a new name. Printed in Canada. So, you get this card, you get this book with this chick who's, she's nothing special. She's all right. No offense. Just not my type. I thought they could have found a much more smoking hot broad if Rob would have shelled out a little bit of money maybe for a model. But anyway, this comic seemed to be very popular. I don't think this is being published anymore, but I do know that it has been optioned by a major Hollywood studio. We'll see if a movie's ever made from it. A lot of dialogue. Script is by Robert Napton. The penciler is John Stinsman. Stinsman pretty much did the entire run on Avengelyne. And so he was making some good money, I'm sure, drawing this little gem. She just wakes up naked in an alley on planet Earth and wraps herself in an old trench coat that she finds in a dumpster. And then you have these homeless bums who decide that they're going to have a little fun with her, and it turns out that they're demons, and they can smell that she's an angel. Oh yeah, baby, don't look so surprised. We're here. We're everywhere. You smell sweet. Why don't you come over here so me and the boys can get a better peek? You won't get burned, unless you wanna. No, stay away from me. She runs and seeks shelter in a very odd-looking house of the Lord, a very odd-looking church. Kind of has a Muslim feel to it to me. But maybe that's just me. And she goes in and she meets this young man here who is a young priest named Peter Clifton. And it's weird because you can't quite tell if he's attracted to her or not. And all of a sudden, Father Mallory shows up and wants to know what the heck's going on. It's like, oh, this girl, she's just, needs a place to sleep for the night. Can we put her up? And, oh, yes, I'll see what we can do. I'll get one of the nuns to get her a room at the mission. And so they find her just a nightshirt to sleep in, and it's sheer, so you can slightly see through and see the angel's nipples, I guess. That's in her areolas. Oh, I'm going to keep going this way. And so she's having some dreams about fighting demons in hell. And she wakes up with a nice crack-a-boom. It's not a crack-a-doom, it's a crack-a-boom, but I'll take a crack-a-boom when I can get one. And then this fella shows up, and he's going to buy the church. He wants to buy it. This is Mr. Belial. That's not very well disguised as a demon. His eyes are glowing red in the first panel. I think that was a poor choice. They didn't need to make it so obvious right out of the gate, as if the name Mr. Belial didn't give it away to any of us who study demonology and things of this nature. This is his assistant, Helena. And then we have a poster featuring Kathy Christian. And that's also signed. And I don't know, man. Like, you know, I don't know. That's not very expressive. And I don't like her hair. It's got it teased quite a bit there. You know, the B cups are fine or whatever, but I would have made a different choice because those are the B cups. And I think when we go back here, you can clearly see those are some heavy C's, you know, bordering on D's. But here we just got the B's, so I don't know. Those are the B's knees. Oh, Bad Rock again. You still owe me a comic, Rob. And again, his eyes are glowing red, and Patrick takes her out for lunch. Apparently it's cold in this diner, and I know I can work. That's a wonderful idea, Peter. Maybe I can stay at the convent. Okay. And meanwhile, then Mr. Belial and Helena show their true form when they're, you know, back at the Belial Towers. They're fine with being demons, and just bolted on there. Okay. Yeah, this is also not like all the Maximum Press comics. This is not doing a lot for me. I do like this shot though. This is pretty cool looking. I like the blood spot again with the areolas and the nipples. Interesting. And like, okay, so she just stabs that sword through the throat and pulls it back out and gets here, and he's just like he's gonna make an offer to her because he was once an angel like her, but now and they're both fallen angels, right? Like, why was she sent to Earth by God? We don't quite know what she did yet. She was a bad girl and got punished by being sent to Earth, like all of us got punished being sent to Earth. But I had no intention of being punished while our Father cowered in heaven. So one day I took an offer I couldn't refuse, to have perfection once more. Now I make that same offer to you, Avengelyne. I'm not interested. I expected as much. It was a necessary first step to ask. Stop here. I had him bring you back to St. Augustine. I'll own it soon, you know. Just like I'll own you. Next issue, Evangeline versus Helena. So, to the max. When I first set out to create Maximum Press, it was for the express interest of creating comics that were different than the standard superhero fare that was currently overpopulating the shelves. First came War Child, a science fiction fantasy like no other. That's true. Followed by Black Flag, a unique and offbeat approach to the popular team book formula. That's also true. And now we have Evangeline. We hope you enjoy Evangeline and her adventures on planet Earth. As you no doubt know by now, Evangeline is a collaborative effort created by myself, Kathy Christian, and her fiancé, Tony Libido. Oh, now we know how she got her job, was from Big T-Bone. Evangeline is the end result of what began as a casual discussion between Kathy, Tony, and myself about the opportunity to work together. We are very excited about Evangeline and the endless story opportunities that have presented itself. Hers is an endless struggle between the forces of light and darkness and her ultimate place in it. Along the way, you will be introduced to a vast array of friends and foes that will aid, challenge, threaten, and enlighten her. We hope you're along for the ride. We wouldn't want to take it without you. Finally, we want to thank Bob Napton, John Stinsman, John Sabal, Danny Meeke, Nathan Lum, Matt Hawkins, and the fantastic work of Extreme Color for bringing their exceptional talents to this project. We couldn't have done it without them. See you in 30 days. Best, Rob Liefeld. And Kathy Christian writes this paragraph and starts it with the incredibly dull, dear friend, I want to take a moment to offer my heartfelt thanks for picking up the first issue of my new comic book venture, Avengelyne. I hope the first meeting is just the beginning of what will evolve into a long friendship between us. It's so exhilarating to be working on this project with all the talented hearts and minds at Maximum Press. It was so thrilling to watch each step of the process, from penciling to inking to the computer coloring of this issue. I'm in such awe of the amazing package that Rob and company have put together. Working with Rob and the Maximum Press team has been very enjoyable. They've been totally receptive to all my ideas and have always been have always been willing to work with me. Thanks. Love, Kathy Christian. So, this is Supreme Apocalypse.
A Dark Lord has returned. 2 worlds are about to collide and be destroyed. 2 men must put aside their differences and unite to stop him before it's too late. Supreme, Brigade, Prophet, Glory. This is Supreme Apocalypse.
Now his hair's brown. Man, it's almost like I'm going to have to read Supreme just to see what the hell's going on there. Cybrid, another Maximum Press. This was 2 issues. Just 2. They had a lot of stuff that was just 1 or 2 issues, like Law and Order and just a ton of stuff. Avengelyne was their most popular title, along with Glory. And I don't know what else to say. They had an anthology book called Asylum that ran for 11 issues, I believe. And that featured random characters each month. And I only own, I think, the first issue of that. I'm going to have to maybe track down a couple more of those and see how that fares. But so far, Maximum Press just, it just doesn't do much for me. It did, in the height of the 90s comic bubble when everything Rob was doing was totally off the chain to, a 13-year-old kid, a 12-year-old kid, a 14-year-old kid. But as a full-grown-ass man, this is not doing much for me. Again, the idea is solid. It's just the execution is, I don't know, it's just not interesting enough. I find the idea of a sexy chick angel to be fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with her going to stay at the convent. I don't think that, I get the idea. I get the concept of getting a model. I would have picked, the best model for the job, not my friend's girlfriend. I find the demons totally uninspired, though. I find them totally uninspired. And I don't know what else to say about it. It's kind of like a rip-off of Ripclaw from Cyberforce. And I would have had them be much more sinister looking, much more frightening. I mean, they're from hell. They shouldn't look badass. They should look terrifying. And I think that, again, the story is an interesting idea. Just like with War Child, the idea of King Arthur being transported into the future with Merlin at his side and maybe one badass knight. I don't know about Lancelot. You could bring in the whole thing with Guinevere and the cuckolding of Arthur, and that's not what you want in a comic book. But there is something interesting in that idea of some Knights of the Round Table ending up in modern America. What would they have to do? I don't know. Maybe they fight MS-13 or something. I don't know. Maybe they take down the corruption in government. I don't know. Same with this. It's like, this is an interesting concept. It's just the execution isn't enough for me. Like, when I was 12, 13, 14, a sexy chick. We didn't have broadband internet porn back then. We had comic books, especially if you were raised in a normal household. This is what you got. This was porn. This is sequential porn, and I love it. But now, as an adult, I'm just disinterested. I'm lukewarm to it. It's like I think I could write it better. I think there's a few people out there that could probably write it better, and that is nothing against Robert Napton. He did a fine job in 1995 of putting this together and doing his best to create something that would appeal to young teen boys. And I mean, clearly it worked. They sold a lot of copies and made a lot of money with this and had a lot of success for, a couple years with this. But, at the end of the day, it's just, I don't know, it just falls flat. It's not indelible. It's not something that a kid today would, I think, be that interested in. But we'll find out. I got a 12-year-old kid that I give some comic books to, and I find it interesting how quickly he's become a comic book fan. And I'm always curious to hear which comics I give him that he likes and what he's not that interested in. And this I don't think he would be that interested in. I know I'm not. So anyways, that's it. I've droned on enough about Maximum Press. We're going to start reviewing Heroes Reborn, which is when Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee went back to Marvel Comics for a year-long contract to relaunch Captain America, the Avengers, Iron Man, and Fantastic Four. And that also caused a lot of ire with the other Image creators. But, it's all about that dollar, baby. Making that paper. And that's Marvel had that to offer. And it was a unique opportunity. And I liked it quite well. So we'll talk about that in the next video. That's it for Maximum Press for now. We might return to it at some point in the future if I find an issue of Asylum, or I know I have an issue of Dark Child or two to also review, but that'll be later on. So thanks for watching, and please give a like. Please share if you like these videos. Share. That helps spread the word about crypto comics, and we're gonna keep on keeping on right here.